Yehi Ratzon, Sefer Breishit, Parsha Breishit, Limud Shebeder Rifat Kol HaCholim, V'Tucham Tani Matoda Magalit, Yosef Yair ben Aviv Achava, Harav Sivan ben Sima, V'Acholeh Rav Shmaliyahu Chaim ben Pesha Miriam, Rav Kanievsky. Bezrat Hashem, when we enter into Sefer Breishit, we get very frustrated, because in every Parsha, there's 500 ideas. And so we'll just focus on one, although there are so many. The first word of the Torah is Breishit. And there are books and books and books that have been written about this word. The Zohar writes an extent amount just about this one word. There's one explanation in the Sfat Emet that plays with the letters of Breishit, but at the same time also gives us a very deep understanding of the purpose of creation. It says if you look at the word Breishit, it has 6 letters, Bet, Reish, Aleph, Shin, Yud, Taf. He divides it into 2 words. And he says if you take the Yud, the Reish, and the Aleph, it spells Yir'eh, which means you'll see, Shin, Bet, Taf, Shabbat. Is that he says that the idea of creation, hiding behind the word of Breishit, is to see Shabbat. And so we have to understand, what does the Sfat Emet really mean when he says that the idea of Breishit is to see Shabbat? And it could be that what he's saying is that one of the things we don't recognize is that Hashem built a world that is not Shabbat. The world starts off from Tohu Vavohu, chaos. And anyone who begins any journey, any creation, anything that any company, it begins with Tohu Vavohu. Just like the world started with Tohu Vavohu, any relationship, anything we build begins from Tohu Vavohu. And we see it sometimes as the end. But Hashem is saying that the idea of the world is that it's presented to us in Tohu Vavohu. And only at the end, after 6 days of Hashem building the world, he's saying to you that there's a journey, there's a process. Hashem could have built the world in 1 day, but he doesn't. He gives us 6 days. And if Hashem built it in 6 days, for us it will probably take 60 years. Or maybe 600, or maybe 6,000. What Hashem is saying is that the goal is to understand that the idea of Tohu Vavohu is a privilege. That chaos is a privilege. That questions are an opportunity. That struggles are not a problem. Only there's something that is enabling us to seek Shabbat, to look Yir'eh Shabbat. And that is the end of Parak Aleph, where we get into Parak Bet, where Hashem creates Shabbat. And so what the Sfat Emet is saying is in the first word of the Torah, Hashem is revealing to us to understand that the greatest problem is fear. Like Moraine Rabbeinu Reb Nachman explains, Va'ikar lo lehitpachad klal. Don't let yourself be afraid, because everything is ingredients. Tohu Vavohu is an ingredient, and it's an ingredient that's saying that there's a journey that needs to be done. And so what we have to learn from the Sfat Emet's idea of the word Breishit being the letters of Yir'eh Shabbat is that we are our own enemy, because we don't have vision. We don't have the vision of Shabbat. So we're afraid of Tohu Vavohu. We're afraid of problems. But once we had vision, once we had Shabbat, once we were able to see that there is a perfect world, then we would not only have vision, but we would have patience. We wouldn't have fear. We would be able to enter into the chaos and start to organize it, start to listen to it, start to embrace it, start to internalize it. So the bracha as we walk into Breishit is that we're going to meet a broken reality. Brothers that fight, Cain and Abel that fight against each other, Migdal Bavel that fight against God, Avram Avinu that tries so hard to succeed, but a lot of things don't go his way. And on in Sefer Breishit. And Sfat Emet is teaching us in the first word, we're learning the essence of this Sefer. That if you have the image of Shabbat, if you have a clear vision of the future, if you love the idea of where you want to go, then not only will you get there, but everything on the way will become a blessing. Shabbat Shalom.